Yo, 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 what is up? What is up, guys? Hope everyone's having a fantastic day today. Hope everyone is doing well on this Tuesday afternoon. I know everyone was just watching the Brandon Graham press conference retirement. Yeah, it was that was tough, man. That was tough. I guess it was gonna happen, I guess it was gonna happen. Um Make sure, guys, this stream is sponsored by BetUS, so definitely go check them out if you guys have not. Appreciate it so much. So yeah, it was a nice press conference, retirement press conference. BG deserves it. I know Fletcher Cox was there. Jalen Hurts was there. Lane Johnson was there. A lot of people were bitching because Jason Kelsey was not at this. Jason Kelsey was not there at all. So everybody was kind of like, bro, why is he there? It is what it is. You know how I feel about the whole situation with Kelsey and everything. So we had Carlos Rosado, first super chat of the day. What's going on, man? Appreciate it so much. It shakes March 18th is BG Day. Philly loves you, number 55, man. Definitely. So Kelsey wasn't there, so everybody was kind of bitching about it. It is what it is, man. It is what it is. But definitely well deserved. And he's got 2 championships in his name now. So it's a great thing. I kind of forgot about the whole BG thing, to be honest with you. The last month, the last 3.5 weeks probably, that he didn't talk to Howie Roseman, and then I guess things started. I guess it was already, this decision was made 3 weeks ago that he was retiring anyway, because Derek Gunn kind of held the secret. So 3 weeks ago, I guess in secret behind the scenes, BG was going to retire. So yeah, there it is. There it is. So just think, Lane Johnson is really the only Philadelphia Eagle left from the 17 Super Bowl. That's it. Lane Johnson is the last of his kind from the last Super Bowl we had, from the first Super Bowl we had. Which is kind of nuts, man. That it already shows you how young this team is going forward, and where we're at as a team right now. So, oh, Jake Elliott was there too. That's cool. That's good. Oh, Rick Lovato was there too. Nice. Well, that's good. I why Jason Kelsey wouldn't be there. He's been playing with BG for a lot of years. It's kind of crazy. Yeah, BG deserves it, man. Elliott was not on the team? What do you mean? Jake Elliott was. Jake Elliott was with the team. In 17, he was a rookie, I think, wasn't he? I think we took Jake Elliott from the Bengals practice squad, I think, at the time. I think it was the Bengals. I could be wrong, though. Nate Banks, what's going on? To Joey, what's up? Holy cow, this Bulldog defensive line is going to be fun to watch. I already saw Nolan's pumped about it. Yeah, dude, I mean, getting Ojulari, yeah, Nolan Smith, I guess, was on Instagram and was like, I can't wait to get back to work. Just remember, Ojulari was part of that 2020 Georgia Bulldog. It wasn't part of the national championship defense, but he was a part of the 2020 Georgia Bulldog defense. So, but Ojulari, I mean, really the only bad thing about him, realistically, and this isn't a first for us getting a New York Giants player, because Saquon Barkley was coming off a few injuries in his career with the New York Giants, and look what happened. You know what I mean? And he's only had Ojulari's only had one healthy season, 6 sacks last year for Ojulari. But I mean, let me tell you something: the ceiling is high for these guys, man. Lane Johnson extension was nice through 2027, which is good. They save $8 million within the next 2 years, so they save $4 million this year, another $4 million next year. So they're trying to. I'm guessing they're trying to, whether it's the Cam Jurgens contract or it's coming up to that Jalen Carter contract. They're really trying to get that thing done as early as possible. So we'll see what that looks like. So if you look at Aziz Ojulari, man, I mean, for the amount of time he's only had one 16+ game season, so he's only been like healthy 1 year. Okay, 22 sacks, 37 quarterback hits in 46 games. Okay, which is pretty crazy. 24 years old. He's young, man. He's young. I'm excited for that second rotation to see what it's going to look like. Whether it's, Josh Uche, I don't know how you say his last name. I usually call him Uchi regardless. And now having Aziz Ojulari there. I mean, that was a rumbling signing that we thought, there was some rumblings of Ojulari coming to the Philadelphia Eagles. And so far it's worked out. It's going to hopefully works out for the better, you know. Like everyone, I'm gonna say this. Thank you for BG for everything you've done with us, and I'm off on the field, man. Enjoy your retirement, BG, and thank you for everything. Yeah, man, definitely. Chris says Ojulari was a huge signing. It was if he stays healthy, look out. That's yeah. I mean, when it comes down to Joshua Uchi, it just comes down to more opportunity and more consistent reps, which he didn't really have when he went to the Chiefs in the trade. Okay. He just needs more reps, an entire offseason with the same team, and I think you'll see something from him. But Ojulari is the type of money is the type of money that Bryce Huff should have been getting, to be honest with you, for that 1 year, $4 million. You know what I mean? So it's not like they signed him for a 1 year, $1 million deal, 1.6, something like that. $4 million deal. Now, Ojulari was, I don't know. I don't know. Ojulari was kind of hedging his bets going into this free agency, thinking that he was going to get a substantial amount of money. But obviously, with his injury history and only having 6 sacks last year, the Giants actually tried to reacquire him. The Giants actually tried to get him back on a cheaper deal. He says, no, I'm going to take Mike Towns to Philadelphia with a team that just won a Super Bowl. I got some ex-Georgia Bulldog teammates that are playing there right now, and I think I'm going to have the best time of my life as a Philadelphia Eagle on that defensive line. Okay? So I think sky's the limit for these. I mean, I think this opens the draft wide. The draft is wide open right now. So realistically, I know we've been hearing some rumblings about the Eagles trying to sign a bridge safety, which I mean, there's already kind of evidence of that when they tried to sign Justin Reed after the Chauncey Gardner-Johnson trade. So if they tried signing Justin Reed, then it probably means that they still have a lot. They still have a lot of interest within the safety market right now. It just comes down to, do they want anybody that's really left? Like Blackman has been rumored. Justin Simmons hasn't really been rumored by any type of NFL reporter. But, Justin Simmons, the connection with Vic Fangio, Christian Parker, I guess it makes sense. But honestly, I'm already on the train right now of just you can go after 2 safeties in this draft if you want. Maybe one in the first round, one in the mid round, something like that. You don't have to go first, second round picks, but because I feel like the Eagles should add more on the defensive line. Whether it's DT, edge rusher. I mean, there's so much that they could do right now. Kane says also the Bulldog players reunited and can't wait to see the ex-Bulldog player to the Eagles. Oh boy. Rolling Philly Dogs, what's going on, man? Appreciate the super chat so much. He says, I think Ojulari will be our sack leader, 13 plus. That's a lot. That's a lot of pressure, man. That's a lot of pressure on him. I'm not expecting, even if he had another 6 sack season, but he could have more than that. I mean, maybe it's not far fetched to have 13 plus, but I think realistically, like if he got 8 to 10, because there's going to be everyone is going to get their numbers. But being healthy and being with actual good teammates next to him on that defensive line, that second rotation, I mean, even if they keep Jalen Carter in the game and say Ojulari or Uchi is on his side, I mean, you never know like what that really. These guys have high ceiling. I mean, these are gambles. There's no doubt about it. These are gambles because these are cost-effective moves. There's a specific reason why these guys are available. So we have to take that into account. But I think these guys are going to be better than Bryce Huff. I really do. I feel really good about it. Appreciate that super chat roll, Philly Dogs. Suo Blaze, what's going on, man? Say, yo, shed a little tear listening to BG. Yeah, same, dude. Same. It was very emotional. It was very emotional. It was nice to see that Fletch was there and the rest of the guys, Lane Johnson, everybody that was there with him for a lot of years. Everybody was there. Rick Lovato, obviously, somebody said he was there. Jalen Hurts was obviously there. No Jason Kelsey was there though, which is kind of interesting. But it is what it is, you know. Mago Dujon, appreciate the super chat, Suo. Mago Dujon says Joey Smith, Uchi, Aziz, and Hunt. Not a bad rotation. Maybe draft an edge. They could still draft another edge. I wouldn't even mind it, to be honest with you. Just remember, you still have Patrick Johnson as well, okay? Patrick Johnson came back. He wanted to make it happen. He's an off-ball linebacker. He has played on the edge as well, so I think I think Patrick Johnson is added to the competition for this training camp coming up going forward. So I think there's a lot of good things to take from it, man. A lot of good things to take from it. Lenny Franco says Byron Young on Eagles practice squad from Raiders, third round pick, sleeper DT this year. No, I think he's another guy that can make some noise too. Like, I can't wait to see Byron Young, former Alabama player. I like Thomas Booker. I think he's flashed. I mean, he made the active roster coming out of camp, and I was actually a little surprised, but he was very productive. So I think he's getting better. But Moro Jomo is gonna ease really well into that Milton Williams spot. That's where I'm kind of at with Moro Jomo right now. I think we'll ease into that spot and play really well. So we'll see what happens. So Eric said we might lead the league in interceptions with all these athletes getting after the QBs. Yeah, maybe. I would say we'd probably lead the league in turnovers more than interceptions. I mean, interceptions could happen too, but turnovers and the way that the Eagles were violently fighting and punching the ball out last year, that's the one thing that we so lacked. It was good tackling. It was being stout on defense. And it was punching the ball out and causing turnovers. And the Eagles were the number one team in doing that last year. That defense post bye week was absolutely insane, you know. Here we go. It says Huff is a joke, especially what Eagles paid him. Yeah, it's true. It's true. We were it was kind of confusing when they signed him because it happened so fast. So if that signing happened so fast, I don't know if there was a lot of teams that had interest in paying him that type of money. I think the Eagles outbid everybody, and I don't think a lot of these other teams were willing to pay him $17 million a year. You know what I mean? Suo with the super chat. Thank you so much, man. Says, love the Aziz move. If he stays healthy, watch out. Yeah, I agree, man. I agree. I think he's going to be really good. You know, I have him over Joshua Uchi. I think Uchi's going to have a good year too. I really do. Joshua Uchi is, just hasn't had consistent reps. I mean, he had 11.5 sacks in 2022. Then he was traded in season last year from the Patriots to the Kansas City Chiefs for a 6th-round pick. And he was mostly a healthy scratch. I think he played 6 games the entire year. So he was Joshua Uchi was a healthy scratch for a lot of games. So he didn't really get opportunity. But Joshua Uchi at his press conference the other day, I mean, he says he has a lot left in the tank, and he says he's effective. He knows he can rush the pass. Like, he's not even he was pretty straightforward on some of the things that he said at his press conference a few days ago. He was pretty straightforward with some things that he was still an effective. So let me go back because I want to see that quote that he actually had. Because I want to read it word by word here. Let me see. Let's see. He says, New Eagles pass rusher Josh Uchi says he's excited to join the other defensive linemen on the Eagles. He says, watching the Super Bowl, they rushed with reckless abandon. Okay. He said he had other offers in free agency, but he thought the Eagles were the best fit for him. And coming off a Super Bowl, he wanted to join the Eagles. That's obvious because how is he going to look his best? He's going to look his best playing for a team that's coming off a Super Bowl. You know what I mean? And he knows all the players on this roster. Just remember, we had joint practice with the Patriots as well. So when he was with the Patriots, when he was with the Patriots, he was in practice too with us in joint practice. So he has seen this team the last couple years, you know. Um, so he says New Eagles edge rusher Josh Uji says multiple teams are interested, blah blah blah. He said Uji says playing for Nick Sirianni and Vic Fangio is an honor. What was the other he said something about being effective. What did he say? I need to find that quick. Nicholas with the super chat. What's going on, man? Thank you so much. He says everything I'm lining up for us to trade up in the first to get our safety, Nick Amawari, next Kyle Hamilton, then Edge in the second. I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to that at all, to be honest with you. I wouldn't be against getting a safety, then getting an edge rusher or a DT or something like that. So I'd be perfectly fine with that. So realistically, Joshua Uchi, he's been, I mean, I think since 22, he's the sixth. I think he's ranked sixth in the league. I think with pressure rate percentage, which is really good. I'm trying to find, and he's only 26 years old, so these are guys that are trying to really work for another contract. I'm trying to find that quote that he said at the press conference the other day. So there it is. He says, Newest Eagles, Josh Uji says that it's about the opportunity to be on the field, adding that he's been effective and efficient whenever he's played. Okay, so Uchi had 11 and a half sacks in 22 and is 26 years old. So, like I said, he just hasn't played enough games. Like, he got traded to Kansas City. He only played 6 games last year. That's it. So he was a healthy scratch, probably with a lot of games with he was a healthy scratch in a lot of games with Kansas City. Never really had the opportunity. So this is his opportunity now to really go out there and showcase himself with a team, you know. We got Sue Blaze with the super chat. Thank you so much, man. It says Tyler Warren rolling with it till the draft. Hey, dude, I don't blame you. You always roll with those guys like Abdul Carter's or things like that, where guys, maybe move down the draft. I mean, I know he won't move down the draft too much, but Tyler Warren would be a big surprise for me. So, when do the Eagles realistically pull the trigger if, one of these guys ends up past 15, 20, 25? I mean, it's almost hard for me to believe, but you never know. You never know what could happen, man, Preach that super chat, man. Yeah, I know you got to speak it to his existence, bro. I get it. Trust me. Ron said, I think the move is safety and then DT in the first 2 rounds. I could be wrong. I just think we've armed up a lot at edge to take one early. Yeah, I mean, I get that. I completely get that, but you're taking on a lot of low risk, high reward moves. I mean, I'm not saying there's nothing promising about it, but there's a whole lot of ceiling that's there right now when it comes to edge. So really depends on how the Eagles feel about it. The Eagles go into that first round not really getting an edge rusher, then they must feel really good about it. They must feel really good about it. So we'll see how it goes, man. But it's we'll see. So Kane says we get younger and we get stronger, more better, more faster than ever before the Eagles. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Getting younger is the number one thing right now. And having draft picks play, having these, newly acquired players that are really, I mean, Howie Roseman signing 24, 25, 26, 27-year-old players, you're getting hungry dogs in the building now that want to work for another contract. Doesn't necessarily have to get a contract with the Philadelphia Eagles. I mean, who knows? Maybe there's an edge rusher that does well this year, maybe they re-sign one. I don't know. I mean, we'll talk about more of that and see how the year goes in 25 and for the 26 offseason. But you're getting a lot of hungry players in this building that that, like I said, they are going to work for themselves for another contract. They are betting on themselves with a team coming off of a Super Bowl. Yeah, to really make their mark, man. Yeah, I saw BG retired. Yep, yep. We talked about it. Leon Go Hard said, I like the fact that we are staying young. That's the way to go. That's why Howie is the best GM. He thinks outside the box. That is true, bro. That is true. That is true. Devontae Graham said, I don't think we get a DT or edge rusher simply because we already have Nolan Smith first round pick and Jordan Davis will be looking to be paid in the future, and we have Carter. Yeah, yeah, I know that, but I mean, you can't have enough defensive linemen, bro. I mean, you can't have enough. If they have an opportunity to jump on one, even if it's a rotational guy in the mid rounds, I still think they'll get somebody. That doesn't necessarily mean that they'll sign one. They'll sign one with the first pick of the draft at 32, or if they're moving up or whatever. Could possibly be a trade back, maybe, if there's enough players on the board and they say, you know what, we could trade back and still get our guy. We'll find out. So, like I said, imagine Lane retiring with 3 trophies next to him in the press conference. That'd be sweet, man. That'd be sweet. Another one should be on the way, bro. I'm hoping another one is on the way. I really hope. Philly Rel said they only have 2 edge rushers signed after 26. Okay, they definitely could draft one. Yeah, I mean, realistically, like I said, I feel like they're gonna hit the spot. They're gonna hit another defensive lineman again. I feel like they will hit on another guy. Okay. Not saying that DT is perfect with depth, but I think it's pretty promising. I think edge rusher is pretty promising too, because you're putting a lot of you're putting a lot of faith into these high ceiling type guys at a low cost. So Leon says you can never have enough pass rushers. That's true, man. That's true. Guys, you have an off-season program. You want guys healthy, obviously. And then these guys need a lot of playing time, especially in preseason, man. Joint practices to preseason, these guys need a lot of work. They need a lot of work, man. So, we'll see what happens, but I feel really good, man. I feel good about it. I mean, offensively, can they pick somebody up? I mean, I think they're done offensively. I mean, realistically, what we're looking at right now is the Dallas Goedert contract, whether it's a trade on draft night or it's a trade before the draft or something like that. I mean, we're just going to have to we're just going to have to wait and see. And this Bryce Huff contract, what are they doing with that? There's already been a lot of rumors that they're trying to get rid of that contract where, the Eagles are not going to really save any money until after post June 1st, which if they trade him away, they could probably save $5 million, but he's got a big cap numbers down the road. A couple years, he's got like $27 million against the cap. I mean, it's absolutely insane, that contract. I mean, we criticize, we'll award Howie Roseman with the moves that he makes, but that Bryce Huff contract is not good. It's not a good contract. So we'll find out what happens in the coming days. I mean, if they can get rid of him, that'd be great. I mean, I don't know, dude. I mean, I don't want to carry him with that number. I just don't want to carry him. I'll carry him if he takes a pay cut or something like that. But I don't think a pay cut is going to work. I don't think it's going to be enough. And the Eagles, I feel like, are going to have to pay some of that off for him to be tradable, I guess, to a team. You know what I mean? Okay, the Arcane Pony says the ammo on the draft picks, like you got 21 picks for the next year's draft, and you are good. You good. Like, yes, we lost a bunch of guys, but that is part of life. Like, I'm in really good. Yeah, no, I mean, you have a lot of draft capital. So the only picks you can't trade in this draft are the comp picks for 26. The only picks you can't actually trade are the comp picks, because the comp picks technically aren't rewarded yet until next year. And the Eagles will have 4 comp picks, 12 draft picks in 2026. Okay, so you'll have a lot there, man. You'll have a lot to deal with there. So you still have 2 third rounders for 26. You have a 4th rounder. So I mean, you have 4 fifth round picks for the 25 draft, for this draft coming up. So you have a lot of, they're not picking 4 guys in the 5th round. They're going to be moving. They're going to be wheeling and dealing up and down the draft board, not only getting picks for this year, acquiring picks, whether in a trade up or a trade back with those 4 fifth rounders, but they're going to trade one of those picks for next year. They're going to get another pick for 2000. The Eagles are going to be loaded. They're going to have some cap space next year. They're going to have to re-sign some guys next year, and you're going to have a ton of draft picks, bro. A ton. So that 26 draft is going to be really important. These next couple drafts are going to be so important going forward, and they really need to hit on a lot of guys. So I got to say, man, it's a different era in Philadelphia because other than the last few years, man, the drafts haven't been fantastic. But let me tell you, the last few years have been going on. It has worked really well, and now you have consistent coaching. Now you have consistent coaching. You have Vic Fangio that's got control over every layer of this defense. I mean, we'll talk more about Kevin Patullo once camp gets here and how this offense is going to look. And you know, is Kevin Patullo is he gonna be the right guy for this job going forward for the long haul? You know what I mean? So we'll just have to see, man. We'll just have to see. Slick says, "Who is Howie trying to trade for all with these picks he's getting? That's got to be his plan, right? I mean, he might not trade. He might try not to trade up for anybody, but we'll see. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't have to necessarily be the first round. It could be the second round. I mean, I don't know where their pick is in the second round. I know it's not a close pick in the second round. It might be 60 something. I don't know what it is. I'm trying to figure out what their second round pick is actually right now. Beast guards that were loaded already going into this year. The amount of depth we're going to add in the draft is going to be great. Yeah, dude. Yeah, they got to get a beast. The first two picks, they have to get two really good players that start day one. Okay, so that's already a big plus for this defense. I don't think it's going to be an offensive player the first two rounds anyway. I think they'll hit. I think maybe they'll hit on a tight end. Maybe they've already shown that they won't hit on a tight end in the mid rounds, depending if Dallas Goedert is gone. And they've already signed 4 tight ends already. Okay, they signed Cameron Latu, Nick Muse to future contracts. You signed Harrison Bryant and Kylan Granson. And Kylan Granson is already the number two, the number 2 in the building as of right now. They're not paying Grant Calcaterra. Calcaterra is a free agent after the 25 season, you know. Suo says Howie's cooking. Sign Aziz for $4 million, then extends Lane, saves $4 million. This year basically got Aziz for free. Yeah, I mean realistically, yeah. So you save $4 million this year and another $4 million next year. And just think about it, like the Chauncey trade, you're going to save $6 million from that next year. So that's already $10 million already saved, and then the cap is going up next year as well. So they're gonna have some money. They're gonna have some money, and obviously, what they have for money wise, dude, it doesn't come down to external free agents. The Eagles are trying to sign their own the next 2 to 4 years. Okay, obviously Cam Jurgens is gonna be right up there. I think the first 2 contracts that the Eagles need to take care of, it's gonna be Cam Jurgens and it's going to be Jalen Carter 1,000,000%. Because realistically, after this season, you have Calcaterra, you have Jordan Davis, you have Nakobe Dean. So there's going to be some interesting ones next year. Nakobe Dean, I mean, realistically, I don't think they're going to get rid of him because I think he's going to be really cheap. He's going to be very, very cheap. And I don't think Nakobe Dean's going to want to go anywhere else anyway, coming off that injury. Okay. I can't imagine them separating these Georgia Bulldogs at all. So we'll just see what happens. Let's see. Divine Graham said none of the times we have our difference makers on offense. The majority will be practice squad. Yeah, I mean, realistically, the only one that's not going to be practice squad is Kylan Granson. Kylan Granson's the only one that won't be practice squad at all because he ranks really high in the league when it comes to run blocking. 17th in run blocking, I think 16th in pass blocking. So he's very good, very good. He could go out for passes. He just consistently just hasn't had good stats the last year and a half just because the Colts haven't really have had a great quarterback over there. So he hasn't really had these big opportunities, but I think that Kylan Granson is a really good signing for them. And I think he's other than Dallas Goedert, he's the best tight end we have in the building right now. They've used Harrison Bryant was a tight end in the league that's been used for a lot of the quick throws, things like that, end arounds, screen passes. So they can always use him. But you know, I really just hope they bring Dallas Goedert back. They bring Dallas Goedert back for one more year. He's got no more guaranteed money on his contract. Just bring him back for one more year. I mean, that's what it comes down to, man. Like to trade him for a pick and then like I wouldn't say there's a hole there, but it's kind of glaring a little bit, you know. Rhino B says you think they will resign Big Fred and try him at guard? He's almost exactly the same size as Becton and played well, filling in from a lot of. Yeah, I think they keep him at tackle, bro. I don't think they move him around too much. I think they keep him as the backup tackle on both sides. And that's really it. I don't think it gets any more than that. But he is still a free agent. The Eagles haven't signed him yet. He'll cost no. I don't think he'll cost much. The longer that he's not signed, the cheaper he's going to get. And so far, it's already a week and a half in the free agency, almost 2 weeks, whatever it is. So I don't think we'll cost that much. Rounds, do you think they will resign Big for? Oh, hold on a second. SE Bird says trade for Mayer or Pitts, maybe if he's cheap. They're not. They're not. They're done. Tight end, they're finished. They're finished. I think as of right now, what it looks like, I mean, I think Dallas Goedert's coming back. I mean, I would think he's going to come back for one more year. I don't know if there's. For me, I just feel like getting rid of Goddard is a big mistake, bro. I think they need to relax a little bit. You know what I mean? You got a lot of draft picks. They're going to get more draft picks. Unless they can get a nice pick for him this year, then okay, if they can get like a third round pick for him, that'd be great. I mean, that would be probably too steep because he's missing too many games, 5 to 8 games per season. But I don't know what they're doing. You know, it could be a pick for this year, this year 26 or 27. So K9s, we'd have to extend Pitts. I think we should just draft tight end round 3. This class is deep, and Arroyo and Helm will likely be there. We could trade up. Yeah, I don't. I have no interest in trading for Kyle Pitts. I mean, I don't know what this whole thing with Kyle Pitts is. Like, I don't get. I don't get like the obsessiveness with Kyle Pitts. I really don't. Unless you're going to use Bryce Huff to trade him somewhere to dump the contract off and they're willing to take most of that contract, then screw it. If it's just for that, then I'm perfectly fine with it. But I'm not looking to re-sign another tight end unless it's Dallas Goedert for this year or if they draft one or whatever. Yo, Rocky, what's going on, man? Appreciate the super chat. Says we definitely need to draft tight end even if Goddard is back. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I get it, dude. I get it. I just don't think they're gonna go after one early in this draft. I don't know. I don't think so. It's a shame, dude, because if this is gonna be Dallas Goedert's last year, then we'll just call it the way it is right now. But appreciate that super chat, man. Jonathan says Dallas Goedert should remain, and I think he will. Grant C might be out and replaced by Grayson guy. Well, they might keep 3. I mean, I don't know if they'll keep 3 to the active roster. Maybe they will. I don't know. Depends on what they need at other positions depth wise. If they decide to keep three tight ends coming out of camp on the active roster, we'll see. They have Goddard, Grayson, and Calcaterra wouldn't be a bad thing. Ryan says the Goddard situation reminds me of Sweat last. Yeah, so yeah, the Sweat, it was pretty much almost the same thing. They redid Josh Sweat's deal for his last year and gave him more guaranteed money and less than the cap number and that was it. So Devon says Dallas hasn't played a full season forever. No, he hasn't, unfortunately. There's too many. Even when Dallas Goedert wasn't playing, bro, we were still winning games. You know what I mean? Like, regardless, like, I think Grant's a very good tight end. He's just not the best blocker. I think he's still very productive. Thank God we've had him in the building, even when we had Jack Stahl here, too. I mean, thank God we had both of those guys that had a lot of starting experience when Goddard was missing a lot of games because, sometimes these guys get thrown into the fire and you get to see if they're going to sink or swim. And I thought both of them did a pretty good. When Stahl was here, I thought he did a good job. Tommy says we really can't afford to draft a tight end in the rounds 1 and 2. We need to draft safety and edge before tight end. To be honest, if we get one of the Malachi's, either Starks or more, I'm happy. Camp, yeah, I mean potentially, sure. Day 1, day 2, both of those guys. I mean that'd be fantastic. You know, wide receiver 3 is a must fill. Why? I think wide receiver 3 is fine. They might have to find some depth, but you don't have to draft anybody high for a wide receiver. You know what I mean? Like they don't have Paris Campbell anymore. He signed with the Cowboys. Anais Smith, he got hurt the last offseason. He just looked horrible, man. He looked absolutely terrible. He didn't show no glimpse of nothing last year. His punt returns were horrible. He had a fumble in preseason on punt return out of bounds. His vision didn't look great. So I think they need more depth at maybe another guy at receiver, but realistically, like I'm fine with receiver. I mean, to find depth at receivers, not Johnny Wilson. I mean, I know he's got some drop issues at times. He should have had a couple touchdowns this year. I mean, I like Johnny Wilson a lot. I think I want to see Johnny Wilson take that next step with another offseason under his belt. To have a receiver at almost at 6'7", with a big frame and could box guys out and catch the ball. I mean, he had a couple touchdowns this year. He had a couple of them that were called back as well. He's had some drops. I mean, he had one at the Super Bowl as well. So I feel good about Johnny Wilson. I feel good about Johnny. But what's his face? Our starting wide receiver 3, I think, is perfectly fine. Jahan Dotson. I think he's fine. He's got one more year left on his contract this year, and that's it. So Jahan Dotson only cost you a little over $3 million this year. So it's very affordable. It's very cheap for the Eagles to keep him. A first-round talent, playing wide receiver 3. You could depend on him in the big moments, and thank God like they actually took advantage of the situation because there was no tape on Jahan Dotson in the regular season. So they could use him in the playoffs to the Super Bowl, and no teams will know. Like they have to respect Jahan. Jahan is the main reason why they can move, Devontae Smith or AJ Brown to the inside, because teams still have to respect Jahan. They have to respect him because he's still a big talent in this league. His statistics don't show up like crazy this past season, but let me tell you, man, he's the receiver that doesn't have much pressure on him when he's playing, but when it comes down to those moments, it's great, Let's see. Tommy says, Howie is sitting there thinking if we're going to be a run-heavy team going forward, then why am I going to pay a tight end 15 mil when I'm paying 2 receivers 28 plus mil and 20 mil running back? That's kind of how I see it. Yeah, but you're not going to pay. But realistically, like I get that. I get that. So, I mean, even if it's going to be like a 1-year deal this year and calling it like that's it, like Goddard plays the 1 year and that's it. Like I guess I could see why they don't want to give him that much up front. Because he just hasn't been healthy. So we're just gonna have to find out. I mean, realistically, I think they need to find the right number. And he's got no more guaranteed money in his deal. So, we'll see. Jahan is the best wide receiver 3 we've ever had. Now all of a sudden he's not good enough. Yeah, I don't get that. You can only give the ball to so many guys, bro. I mean, that's just the way it is. Trust me, when Jahan Dotson's number is called, when Jalen Hurts is going through his progressions and there's coverages all over the place, and Jahan is a guy that, their defenses and their third cornerback on Jahan, it's a big mismatch. Safeties can't cover him going downfield. I mean, he is reckless, dude. I was wondering if Jahan was good or not. I mean, I don't know, because the way that, I don't know what that head coach to Washington was thinking. I understand that they wanted to get rid of him, that maybe Jahan felt entitled for the job, and You know, so now he's got a Super Bowl ring on his finger now. Now he's got jewelry now. So that's all that matters. Pat says converting him to time would take a few years. Need to be put on about 30 pounds and learn how to play a new position. Yeah, it's probably not. If you're talking about Johnny Wilson, that's definitely not going to happen. I doubt it. I doubt it. Shows I bet you Quez drops that ball down the sideline that Jahan caught. Yeah, maybe. Maybe. Deshaun Jackson says, think about the early 2000s, how close we came to Super Bowls. This is our golden era. It's true. Pope Platinum says, Dots is faster than I thought. Yes. He could be honestly, Dotson could be a number 2 for a team right now. Dotson could be a number 2 for another team right now. Right now, this moment. Philly Rel said, I like Johnny, but his hands are not good right now. Yeah, but just got to give him more time, dude. It was his rookie year last year. I'm always willing to give rookies more time. I mean, he's what, a 6th round? What is he, a 5th, 6th round pick? I mean, you know, is he a 5th round pick? I think it was a 5th rounder. You know, just got to give him more time. Rounds the Eagles only pass the ball 20, 25 times a game. How many of those you don't want going to AJ Smith or Dallas? Not worried about wide receiver 3 at all. No, I'm not either. And you're running the ball. I mean, you're gonna have a $20 million back now, not even a $12 million back. Now with that extension, he becomes a $12 million back after this season. So realistically, you know, you're gonna be running the ball a lot too. So, you know. What's going on, Bryce? Pope says, let rookies develop. Don't do what guys did to BG when he was young to Wilson. No. No, I think they've done a pretty good job, especially who's I forgot, I keep forgetting Aaron Moorhead's the wide receiver coach, right? He's done a pretty good job with all these guys. I mean, I didn't think he was going to be in the building for that long after the last few years, but you know, that's just a guy that's been here for a while. Oh, he was 6th round pick. Okay, I thought he was a 5th. Thought he was a 5th rounder. Tommy said, with the news of Stingley's contract, looking for the Eagles got to save 70 plus mil just to extend Carter and Q. Don't want this to happen, but I could see Howie trading AJ to free up that money. No, I don't see him getting traded. As long as he's still playing at a high level, I don't think they trade him. You know, as long as they're, you know, if they have a top 10 pick and have a really bad year or something like that, that's a different story. You know what I mean? I mean, Howie can only always restructure contracts, move money around if he has to within the next couple years. There's always ways to save cap space, but you know, at the end of the day, you can't restructure everybody because that's just kicking the can down the road, unfortunately, for those bigger cap hits. You know, so you don't want to do that. So you have to make sacrifices and get rid of good players. You know, whether you trade them or whether they walk into free agency and get paid a lot of money. Yeah, it's gonna be insane, man. Thank God we don't have to pay a cornerback at all. But edge rusher, you know, that market is, you know, the market's always going to reset itself at times. But we'll see if this edge market resets. I mean, really, 30 plus million you're going to be getting for high talented players, 27 plus. Can go anywhere from 27 plus to over $40 million. And then Jalen Carter's probably going to get, Jalen Carter's going to get over 40. It wouldn't shock me. It wouldn't shock me if he tops Myles Garrett in the next year. Pope says the cap is going up with the new streaming ratings metrics coming up. Philly Rel says trading AJ right now is literally impossible. He's a $72 million to your cap. Yeah, no, no. I mean, all the stupid rumors of AJ going to New England was just dumb. And it was never going to happen. So you just signed him to an extension, bro. I mean, the Eagles aren't taking a loss. You're competing for a Super Bowl next year. You get rid of a player like that, then your whole offense is a fucking disaster after that. Because now you lose AJ, then you have the last pick of the draft in the first round. I mean, it makes no sense. It just made no sense. So said you don't trade Goddard unless he's going after Warren or Fanning. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't have to be first round though. Like I said, like I think they're gonna. I think potentially they could trade him, but potentially they should keep him for the year. Just because they get rid of Goddard, I don't think it means that they're gonna go after Tyler Warren and trade all these picks to go up and get him. I doubt it, but um, let's see. FN Ross says, I think the highest paid player at DT is making 31.5, so really pay Carter 40. Why not 34, 35? I mean, they could pay him whatever they want to pay him, but it's up to Jalen Carter at the end of the day. You know what I mean? So we'll see. Um, it could be 40. Who knows? Who knows? You know, the Eagles love to not they like to when they did they I mean necessarily, okay? Necessarily, did they really have to pay Saquon Barkley 20 million a year? Of course not, they didn't. They didn't have to extend him and pay him. They could have put him up to 15. They could have put him up to 17. I mean, he deserved it. You know what I mean? He deserved it. Over 2,000-yard season, breaking records all over the place, and you know, it affects us entirely. You know, I mean, now you're putting now you're putting a lot of compensation into the running back position now. You know, you're putting a lot of money into that position. So, you know what I mean? Plays calling says Carter's getting any contract he wants. Yeah, most likely, bro. Most likely. So Howie will open the checkbook and tell Carter to write a number down. See, G. Sanders says this is a new offensive coordinator. Better be doing his homework. Yeah, well, he better. You know what I mean? He better. This offense better be ready to go. That's all I got to say. You know what I mean? He better have this. He better have this shit. He better have this shit rolling. This offense better be rolling like crazy. Pat said no, but he secures all weapons for the entirety of this open window. Yeah, of course. So you have to rely on these drafts every single year. If the Eagles are in a market now for their own franchise, they're not going to overpay a bunch of players. And when I say overpay, I mean guys deserve their contracts, so I completely get it. But you're really depending on these drafts now. You need that young turnover. You're not trying to. They're trying to win multiple championships for years and years and years. Okay, and the only way to do that is you're gonna need turnover. You're gonna have to let guys go and get paid, and you're gonna have to really rely on your scouting department and your decision making to draft really good guys from this draft and have really good coaching behind it for the turnover that's about to happen. You know, G Sound says the new offense corner better be doing. Pat says no, but he secures all our weapons for the entirety of this open window. Yeah, that's true. It's true. There's gonna be a lot. It's gonna be a lot to. It seems like it's gonna be a lot, but it's something that we're not used to. If they just wanted to if they wanted to just pay everybody, bring everybody back for this 1 year, then that's what they would have done, and they would have just said, you know what, let's just deal with it. A lot of teams do that shit. They'll just pay people and just say, screw it, whatever. We'll figure it out later. We need to win this year. But Howie is being smart that we're going to let the turnover happen and let the youth fly in this building and put them on the field and get some success out of it. So, Jacob says, yo, Joey, will we be streaming the NFL draft this year? Yes, me and Philly 500 will be streaming together. We've streamed together the last 3 years together. We will be doing it again. We'll be streaming all 3 days together. So, it's going to be really busy. We'll be very, very busy. So, Pat says, I don't think Batul is going to make sweeping changes. Things should look similar with some tweaks in the pass game, hopefully. Yeah, I mean, that's what it comes down to. Realistically, what I've thought about this offense this past year was I think this has always been Nick's offense, but with some Kellen Moore flavor added to it. And obviously, Kevin Batul has been around the last few years, okay? And he's the only thing he hasn't really done is make play calls, in game. But he's heavily involved when it comes to strategizing this offense on a week to week basis. So we'll talk about Kevin Patul when it's time to talk about him. We need to get this roster together first, see what we have. And then once, like, after the draft, and if the Eagles are, still going to make moves, got to remember too, like, before the draft, after the draft, a lot of guys, there's teams that are going to release players too. It's going to happen. Players will be more players are going to get released off of teams, and whether they could find depth pieces somewhere else or anything like that, I think they'll be perfectly fine. So says 26 draft is going to be insane. We have so many good picks, 3/3, 3/4. Do we have 3/4 rounders, or we have 2/4? I don't think we have 3/4 rounders. Do we have 3/4 rounders? I got to look at it again. Philly Rel says, imagine staying up for the Eagles to trade out of the first round. Yeah, it is what it is. Look, if it happens, man. Oh, they got 2/4. That's great. Shit, that's good. They got a 5th round for Mekhi Becton, a 6th round for Isaiah Rodgers, a 3rd round for Milt, a 4th round for Josh Sweat. Oh, yeah, 2. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense because of the 4th round for Josh Sweat. Right. You're right. 12 picks in 26. Beast Guard said the way the offense played the NFC game in Super Bowl, that is the blueprint. Most balanced tack we had all year. It's true. If teams want to stop Saquon Barkley, they're going to have to sell out, and they're going to be giving up on a lot of coverages. They're going to be leaving a lot one-on-one. That's the reason why. If Jalen Hurts was able to beat Spags' fucking blitz, I mean, that was pretty much it, man. It was game over. Pat says Carter's rookie deal expires in 27. He'll be extended next year before camp starts. Yeah, because he'll be a contract year. So Tommy says Howie's definitely going to be trading up through the entire draft. There is no effing way we draft 20, let alone no. I mean, he's got 4 5th rounders. He's going to trade up. He's going to trade back for either. He'll trade back for more picks in this draft, trade back for. He's going to trade one of those 5th round picks for a pick next year. The Eagles will have 13 to 14 picks in that draft at 26. I'm telling you, it's going to happen. Suos's thing I saw a thing for 3/4. I think that was a mistake. I think that was wrong. I don't get where you're getting 3 4th round picks. We have our own, and we have Josh Sweat's comp pick. So it makes no sense to have 3. I don't know where the 3rd one came from. Tom said the teams will be looking to trade this year will be Vikings and Falcons. Those teams have only 4 to 5 draft picks. Damn, it's crazy. Mark said, Joey, it does feel painful but necessary for long-term success. I think that we'll have a few pleasant surprises. It's going to be a really interesting. Yeah, it will be. Because, the Eagles can always trade up and add some flavor for some draft capital. I mean, who knows? They got 12 picks next year. They have ammo for this draft. If they really want to use picks for next year to kind of add some flavor to a trade up or something like that, they can always do that. You know what I mean? Pat says those 20 picks will turn to like 11 or 12. Rest get packaged in trades. Yeah, we'll see how aggressive they're going to be here. I mean, the first rounder is going to be interesting whether there's guys on the board near 32 that they'll trade back, they feel comfortable trading back, or they'll move up a few spots. Like, I just don't see them going crazy moving up like from 32 to like 16. It's going to cost a lot to move up like that. Unless there's somebody that they really want. Like, if there's someone they just can't keep their hands off, like they just feel like they got to get this guy. They can't let this guy go. That's their target. Let's be more aggressive this draft. And hallelujah. I'm perfectly fine. It is what it is. Hopefully, I just don't want them to give up an entire draft for one guy moving up way too early, Suos's Twitter lied to me then. I just looked it up. 2/4 and 3/5. Yeah, it's 2/4. Yeah. FMR also the best thing about having a lot of picks is knowing we can get quality guys. Slay got traded for a third and a fifth, and we got CJ and a seventh for a fifth and 2/6. Yeah, that's crazy, dude. So yeah, there's always quality. I mean, you can always trade for guys, with low cap numbers and no, it's definitely still awesome, dude. Definitely Suo. Beast Guard says moving up to like 22, 10 spots is nice. Yeah, I mean, I think that's realistic. Moving up within 10 spots, I think is realistic, but moving like to 12 or 15 or I just don't see that happening. Those 3/3 can do a lot with it. Yeah, the only picks they can't trade are the comp picks because they're not awarded yet. Those 26 comp picks, they can't do nothing with those. They can't do nothing with those. I don't think you can do anything with those until they're awarded. So until they're awarded those next year, next March, they'll be awarded those. So they have to use whatever they have left there. Philly Rel says I would use one of those future thirds to move up in the early 20s if that was me. Yeah, I don't mind. I mean, that would be great. I mean, if it's for a player that they really want, sure. I mean, it might you might have to give up a pick like that, you know? You might have to give up a pick like that. Trying to see if there's anything else going on right now. Let's see here. So obviously it looks like they Washington just tweeted out that Debo in Commander's uniform. Exciting White says Jack Sawyer, Malachi Moore, Jared Ivey, Deion Walker, and Hawes are my favorite prospects for the Birds. I hope we pick one of them up, dude. Hope we pick one of them up. T. Grant says Howie will definitely play some picks forward to 27 and beyond as well to use them to move up and down. Yeah, I mean, yeah, the Eagles don't have any extra picks for 27 yet. But yeah, sure. I mean, they could add another pick from 27, maybe. Sweeten a deal up or something. Plays Collins, I wonder who's going to fall into the Eagles' lap this year. I don't know, but these teams better be smart. They better be smart. That's all I got to say, because if the Eagles land on another player, I mean, someone's going to drop. I mean, somebody is going to drop. And if I was to really guess, the late teens to the early 20s, a lot of edge rushers, DTs are going to go off the board. And I feel like the Eagles will have the pick of the litter when it comes to safety. I really do. you know? I think they'll have the pick of the litter, no doubt. You could trade comp picks that aren't rewarded. I didn't know if you could, because we haven't been awarded those picks yet. So I don't know if they could do that. But we'll see. By the way, this stream is sponsored by BetUSW. Go check them out. We have 165 in the chat. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, like the stream, guys. Do appreciate it so much, everybody being in here today. If you haven't picked up a membership in the pinned comment for the extra draft content, definitely go pick one up. If you guys haven't, any tier doesn't matter what it is. And definitely check out the Philly Shakedown podcast merch. The new Jalen Hurts merch that we have has been fire. A lot of people have been buying. So definitely go check all that out if you guys haven't either. So appreciate it so much. I'll put a link for the store for the Philly Shakedown in the live chat. Appreciate everybody joined it up today. We're going to do a short stream today. Nothing crazy. Other than BG retiring, nothing's really been going on. So I think in the coming days we're going to see more moves, and I think we'll hear more on Dallas Goedert, what's going on with Bryce Huff. And if the Eagles are still in that market for a safety right now, that's going to be really the big ones. Pat says Philly Rail is correct. Can't trade them because they haven't been officially awarded. Yes, I figured that. The NFL has got to award us those picks before they could do anything with them. So, Zion White says, "Cans, I like his tape. I liked how he shows up watching every game. Don't care what his arm length is. Combine numbers don't mean as much to me as what my eyes show me." T. Grant says, lately I've warmed to the idea of getting an elite cornerback to insert for Slay, have Mitchell DeJean and Johnson Jade or Rebel for the next 10 years, no fly zone. Yeah, I mean, it's really hard for me to think that they're going to go after another cornerback in the first round again or early rounds. Between Adoree Jackson and Keely Ringo, I think there will be competition there. I think Fangio has set this up for Keely Ringo to take this job and run with it, and hopefully that's going to be the case. Jacob says, Joey, since you're Eagles fan, do you see Rodgers coming to the Steelers? I have no idea where he's going to go. Steelers, Giants. I mean, Jameson Winston's going to have a job sooner or later, so. Yeah, Rodgers in Minnesota now. So you got the 6th round comp pick for Rodgers. I mean, they need to add more bodies to cornerback. They need to add more bodies for inside corner. If there's safety depth, safety in general, and that inside corner spot needs more depth. Like, they have nobody. They have nobody that can play inside, and that's a big problem. Times, I know it's 17 mil dead cap for Huff, but if we're not going to play him, then just cut him and don't waste your roster spot on him rather than waste time trying to see if he could be better in the system. Yeah, but it's not that easy though, because they don't want to get hit with that dead cap. I understand, like, just cut him, screw it, who cares? But realistically, if they feel like they could trade him somewhere, and if the Eagles have to pay off some of that debt. If they have to pay off some of that contract for Bryce Huff to be tradable, to at least get the trade going, and they can get a draft pick for him, they'll do that just to get the draft pick. So I would rather try for them to see if they can get anything for him going forward. I don't know. I mean, we'll find out, but it would be nice to see if they can get something for him. T. Grant's no doubt, but Will Johnson is much better player than Ringo. Just saying, I like Ringo. No, I hope Ringo wins the job. Philly Rels, I think there's a chance they do cut him, but see how he looks in camp this year. The reports from last year was he sucked during camp. A year ago? I mean, he's a rookie, bro. What do you expect him to do? I mean, You don't. Who are you talking about? Are you talking about Ringo? Or are you talking about Are you talking about Ringo or Bryce Huff? Are you talking about? Oh, Huff. Yeah, no. I mean, no. He didn't look good. I don't think he looked good either. And I don't think Fangio wanted Bryce Huff. I think that was purely a panic signing by Howie Roseman. I think it was just a panic signing. We didn't know what Nolan Smith was going to turn into. I mean, Nolan Smith, they didn't treat him right. They barely played him until the end of the year when everything was falling apart with really bad coaching behind it. So how are you supposed to analyze these players in 23? You know what I mean? Hassan Reddick was going to hold out. They weren't going to deal with it, so they just ripped the Band-Aid off and traded him. And they were just like, they didn't know what to do. The only guy they could get was a guy that, unfortunately, came off a heavy rotation and with a 110 sack season, and that was it. And all the reports that came out on Bryce Huff this year in his interview saying that he he was down on himself because of what everyone was saying about him. Like if he's got bad mentality from playing bad, I mean, he can't even handle within himself, then that's a red flag for me. It's a red flag for me. If he's playing bad and he knows he's playing bad and he like is that mentally just gone, I wouldn't I mean it's not really great, Getting guys like Uchi and um getting the two new edge rushers that we ended up getting, like those guys have that attitude to play better and have a high ceiling for a cheap price. And if it works out, then those are going to be two big steals in Philadelphia. So that's what it comes down to, man. That's what it comes down to, you know? Can we get an emergency shakedown for BG? We're not going to do a shakedown today. Probably not. No shakedown today. So no shakedown till Saturday. Trust me, we're gonna be streaming a lot this next month with the draft coming up. It's gonna be kind of nuts. So just give it time. Just give it time. You know. So can we get? Let's see. You could trade the comp pick if you agree to terms. So say we have 3/3, they can make the trade a third, but when it gets rewarded, we can choose the comp pick. Yeah, I don't know. All I know is that any team that's not awarded comp picks and they don't have those comp picks yet, they can't trade them. So I wouldn't. I mean, regardless, it doesn't matter. Like they still have two third-round picks they can do whatever they want with. So I wouldn't focus on that comp pick so much. They have 2/3 they could use in this draft if they really have to. You know what I mean? I guess conditional pick could be a comp. A conditional pick? Well, no, I mean a conditional a conditional is not a comp. A conditional pick isn't a comp. They can use a conditional pick. It just means it's our pick now. That pick from Rasan Reddick is our pick. It's already the terms are already done because the season is already finished. So Reddick had to play like a certain amount of snaps, 10 plus sacks to turn that third round conditional and 26 into a second rounder. But the 24 season's over with now. So now that pick is officially a third round pick. So it's just, yeah, I was saying we got a lot of picks next year and we could do a lot in the 26th draft. Yeah. I don't think they're going to trade a crap load of those picks. The Eagles have enough to deal with in the draft in general. I understand he ain't making no aggressive trade ups like everyone thinks he's going to. Not that aggressive. Like I could see an aggressive trade up for like 5 to 10 spots, but he ain't going like 15 spots, 20 spots, you know? Rasheed Brown said, "Hey Joe, I'm starting to get the same feeling about Malachi Starks that I had with Jalen Carter. I think he's our guy. Potentially, like I said, DTs and edge rushers may go. DTs and edge rushers may go early teens, early 20s. You know, Tyler Warren is. I mean, look, I get it, dude. Like you like him and stuff, but I'm not even thinking about him at all. Like I just unless he passes 20, I don't care. Like I'm not going to care. So, we'll see. I mean, anything could happen, but you know, I'm not really in that direction too much. Not really going in that direction too much, you know. Max, I think we need to quickly address linebacker. Every other position at least has multiple possibilities. Yeah, linebacker is still a hole right now. I wouldn't say a big hole, but there's no depth. There's nothing behind it. Ben Van Sermon looks like he's going to be a full-time fullback at this point. They have him listed as a fullback now, you know. Pat said, I meant if we trade a conditional pick, we could use a later comp pick to fill that pick. That is totally legal. I have no. I'm trying to even figure out what that even means. If we trade a conditional, we can use a later comp to fill that pick. I have no idea. I'm trying to even figure out what that even means, to be honest. Like, that's really confusing. But Suo says, yeah, pipe dream, but it's all good. Hey, guys, there's guys that watch college football all year and just have their favorite guys that realistically probably won't get traded to their realistically won't get picked to their team. And that's what happens. What's going on, Reese? What's going on, man? Brown Stark isn't the same league as Carter. Come on, man. Carter would have been top 3 if not for a car accident deal. Yeah, maybe. I mean, he should have been gone at like 6, 5. He should have been going like top 6, tops. He should have been going like top 6. What's going on, Jay? What's going on, man? Oh, you're a diehard Penn State fan. Well, there you go. There you go. Pat says, say we trade a conditional pick that ends up a 26th third. We could use on of our comp third picks to use in that trade come next year. Yeah, but we don't have any comp. We don't have any comp picks, though. That's what I'm saying. Like, there's no comp picks. That comp pick for Hassan Reddick. Are you getting these picks confused with compensatory? Are you talking about like the conditional picks? Are you talking about actual comp picks? It's confusing. It's all theory. Yeah, because I'm really fucking confused, bro. I've never even heard of like just that in general, so I don't know. So maybe I'm just stupid. So which I am. So it happens. Maybe. Well, Brandon Graham was taking pictures next to the Rocky statue. Hey, Thomas Booker and Jalix Hunt were there too at the and CJ Usama was there too. Wow, a lot of people showed up. A lot of people showed up. Jalix Hunt showed up. Thomas Booker even showed up. And Jason Kelsey was like, nah, I gotta make my millions today. I swear to God, dude, like I have never like cared about Jason Kelsey as much as I have never cared about him as of right now. It's just the truth. Pat says, understanding NFL pick rules is like me flying into space and trying to do trigonometry problems on the fly. Not happening. John says, hey, Joey, how are you? Should we still go after an edge rusher? How that BG is retiring? Oh, I mean, they're already moving on. I mean, they've already signed a couple edge rushers. They could go after another one. So, Suo says, I hope BG stays in the locker room. Need his vibes. He says he doesn't. He wants to work for the team. I mean, he doesn't want to be away from this team at all. Frank says Jason Kelsey is in an oversaturation zone at the moment. Yeah, pretty much, dude. After I watched his stupid fucking night show on Sunday night, Monday night at 11 o'clock that one time, I was like, yeah, I'm done. That shit was the corniest shit. That was the corniest shit I have ever fucking I've ever watched in my life. Really. Philly Russell is crazy. The Eagles can have 6 starters next season from the 23. J.C. Nolan, Tyler Steen, Ringo, Morrow, Jomo, and Sidney Brown. Yeah, that's fucking insane, bro. That's good, though. They have to keep this thing going. Suo said that would be awesome. Ask D-line coach. Frank said, I love Kelsey, but Peters, Lane, and even Brooks could be argued as better during his time. I get he's center, but still. Chris says, Jason, we can't miss you if you don't go away. That's true. Nothing else, Reese. I mean, realistically, like we're just waiting on what's going on with Dallas Goedert, the Bryce Huff situation. I mean, the Ojulari signing was fucking fantastic. That was great. I mean, that was a great signing. Suo says, yeah, that was bad. What's going on, John? Yeah, that show was pretty bad. Show was pretty horrible, I gotta say. Not great. Not fantastically great. So I hear Kelsey is looking down. What? What? Frank says, "Do they grab one of the one of starts or Nick safety if they're at 32?" I don't know what they're gonna grab, but I think we gotta see how this board falls down realistically. If a safety is there, grab them. Edge rusher's there, grab them. I mean, they could trade up, they could trade back. I mean, Sua says, "Who do you want in the first?" Realistically, for me, like I don't even really care because I'm perfectly fine with edge rusher. I'm perfectly fine with the with safety. Like I'm not really picky about who I want to be honest because I think there's going to be someone that drops that they're really going to like and I think will be a force to reckon with in Philadelphia. Like I'm not really like really picky on a specific guy to be honest. If any of those edge rushers are there, I'll grab them. You know, if they're able to get their hands on James Pierce Jr., Michael Williams from Georgia, I mean, I'm fine with those guys. You know what I mean? But safety wise, if they can grab one of those two guys, the kid from South Carolina, if they want to grab the kid from Georgia, Malachi Starks, I'm perfectly fine with that too. Like I'm not really playing favorites this year because I know that they're going to need one of those guys. Like I think if they grab an edge rusher, I think it'll be great. If they grab a safety, I think it'll be great. I think it's well needed at both positions. G Sound says if everyone going defense, Gene T would be a good pick. No, not for this team. No. Gene T would make no sense for the Eagles. Make no sense. Whoever gets him is going to be fantastic. Whoever gets him, they just got to use him right. They got to just use him and run him, and hopefully you got an offensive line that's not going to stint him for 1 year. It's the only issue about picking running back in the top 10 because these fucking teams don't have good offensive lines. These teams don't set up the running back to be set up for that franchise for his rookie season. You know. Philly Rel says the only pick I would not like in the first is O-line. Well, even that's not even a bad pick either. Like, I don't think there is a bad positional pick. Besides like a position of that the Eagles really don't need, like running back or quarterback or shit like that. Like, Philly Rel, the only pick I would not like in the first. Okay, hold on. Frank says, yeah, give me a mid or late round running back. Who will get Gene T? I honestly have no idea. I honestly don't even know. I haven't really looked at what teams need running backs that badly. I'm not sure. Frank says O line is fine, a solid guard or a tackle who can replace Lane, but play guard to start. That makes sense. Yeah, if they pick somebody up, I mean, if they even need somebody at this point, I mean, I don't know how they feel about Tyler. I mean, they're going to bring in more offensive linemen, no doubt, especially from the undrafted rookies as well, the undrafted rookie free agents. So we won't overwork Saquon. You're not going to overwork Saquon because you have AJ Dillon. If AJ Dillon can stay healthy in this offseason program, AJ Dillon is going to be fucking great. You know, the Cowboys ain't picking no fucking running back. No, that's definitely not happening. That's stupid. That's just being dumb. There's already rumors that they might pick up a quarterback this year in this draft. First round, I don't know, but yeah, Dallas got that one kid that's hurt, or the one kid coming off injury. That's a low risk, high reward move for them. And then they picked up Miles Sanders. And Miles Sanders, the only reason Miles Sanders got a job in Dallas is because he's going to be able to get playing time. I don't think Miles Sanders had a lot of interest from a lot of teams. So I think he was just in his groove. Oh, joking about Jerry loving Boise State players. John says, Frank, who's the tackle for Baylor? Forget his name, but he's a mauler. He said the rapper name Boosie. Brand Peck says, Joey, just watch Brand Graham's press and thank you thank you video on the Eagles channel. I wanted to cry because he's a 2-time Super Bowl champ and all the stuff he had, like the negative. Oh yeah, I mean from the beginning of his career, sure, you know. Gabe is his name, Joey. Interesting. Interesting. So we have 146 in the chat. We're not going to go too long today. It's just been I just wanted to jump on today, see if anything was going to happen. But, obviously if something breaks later, we'll live stream. What's going on. And, we'll be doing more. But this video is sponsored by BetUS. So definitely go check them out if you guys have not. I got some more shit I have to do in the afternoon today, so I'm going to be busy the rest of the day. But, yeah, I think that's going to be it for the day, man. That's going to be it. So other than that, we'll be around tomorrow. We'll have the shakedown this weekend, obviously. So we'll be busy, and we'll be honing in on the draft a little bit more. See how many more moves the Eagles are going to make as of right now, and moving money around or getting rid of contracts and Bryce Huff and Dallas Goedert, and just see what happens, But yeah, that's it. That's about it, guys. You guys enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you guys on the next one. We'll have a video out tomorrow, most likely. I think we should anyway. So, all right, you guys enjoy. I'll see you guys on the next one. Check spell, follow, slap. Peace out, guys. Peace.